Hello everyone, my name is Numbsie, and as an upload this week, I haven't recorded any gameplay of anything really, so I just decided I'll try something new, and I'll probably start a story time kind of a series and see how that goes. So for today's topic and today's story, I'd like to tell you guys about the first time I ever got high. So it was about, I'd say maybe junior year in high school. I was working at Pizza Hut at the time, and my coworkers and my friends that were there were really big potheads, but they were still some of my best friends, and I still talk to them to this day. But I'm never into that. I was never into smoking. It was impossible for me to get to smoke with you. I would never in my life. But at this period of time, I was so rebellious, and I was so mad at my mom at the time for some reason that I just went against everything she's told me not to do. And I just completely disregarded everything. I was just a rebellious teenager at the time. You think the world's against you. You think you hate the world for everything it is. Obviously, I was overreacting. I was a stupid teenager, But, one of these days I go to work. I'm having a bad week at school already. I just see my friends, they're smoking up and behind the store on their break. And, I was like, hey, let me get into that. They're like, whoa. Like, are you sure you want to do that? I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? It's not going to hurt me too bad, is it? They're like, I don't think so. I mean, just don't do a shit ton. So what I end up doing, and for the guys that don't know, it was a wax pen too. So the worst part about it, was this wax pen. Wax is like, I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure it's like pure concentrated THC. And just know that I was fucked out of my mind. Not because I took one hit, but because I took about 6 or 7, and I didn't realize 6 or 7 hits is the quantity of, it was basically fucking smoking like 8 fucking joints and eating 2 packs of gummies. With that kind of like wax pen he had, he said it was gonna fuck me up. But I told him, dude, after each hit, I told him, I took 5 minutes in between. I was like, dude, like nothing's happening. It just, it doesn't work. Your shit is whack. And he's just like, dude, just give it time. I was like, all right, fine. You know what? I'll give it 10 more minutes. If it's not doing anything, then your weed is just trash. And at the time, I didn't know how it worked. So I don't know why I was talking this big fucking game. But, I said, fuck it, okay? So about 25 minutes go by, and I go back to the kitchen. I'm like, listen, man, it's just not... It's not kicking in right. It's not working. Your shit is whack. And he says, dude, like, I'm already fucked out of my mind, and I only took 2 hits. You took 6 to 7. No one's tolerance is that good. So I was like, yeah, we'll see about that. So as I'm making wings and shit, I take the wings out of the fryer and I'm like putting them into the bowl or whatever to sauce them up. And as I'm saucing them up, I start getting really lightheaded, and it just fucking hits me like a truck. I swear, I felt so like heavy-eyed. Like the eyelids underneath my eyes were so fucking heavy. I just could not, for the love of me, I could not keep my eyes open. I go back into the kitchen. I'm like, listen, I could be wrong, but I think I need to go home early. And my friends are like, holy fuck, dude, you cannot talk to a customer the way you look right now. I'm like, why do you say that? And I go into the employee bathroom for like 5 minutes. I'm like looking in the mirror, and I look, and my eyes are so fucking bloodshot. It's like ridiculous. I can't imagine. Like, I can't even explain to you guys how fucking red this my eyes were this time. It was terrible. It was like absolutely terrible. So as I'm sitting there, I asked my manager, I'm like, hey, is it cool if I clock out early? I don't feel so good. And, she turns to me, she's like, listen, I used to be a pothead back in the day, and I know what you're doing. I'm just going to ask you, why the fuck would you get high at work? That is the worst place to experience a high. I'm like, what? Like, can I just go home or no? She's like, if you can find a ride home. But I'm pretty sure your grandma wouldn't be too excited about it. And let me tell you guys, I worked with my grandma. She was the delivery driver for a long time. So I was very disappointed. She was very disappointed in me. She was working at the time too. So not a good look. So what happened was I had another friend of mine that worked there. He was also a delivery driver. His name was, to keep the privacy, his name was Tim. Tim said, yeah, fine, I'll take you home. I'm on my way out anyway. So me and Tim get in his car, and, we have another friend of mine in the back. His name's Albert. And, me, Tim, and Albert were sitting in the car. And as we're pulling out, we accidentally back into another delivery driver's car as she was pulling in from another run. So we're sitting there, and we're like, fuck. What do we do? And, out of all things, if it was like a little bump into her car, then, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It'd be like, oh yeah, you're fine. It didn't really do much damage. But we backed into just the right fucking spot that her car just would not start. It just wouldn't start. We fucked up something in the engine. For God's sakes, I can't remember what. But I wasn't driving, obviously. I'm not going to drive under the influence. Be responsible, okay? Anyway, they exchanged insurance info, and I sit at, I go inside, and I'm so shaken up. I feel like I just got into a car accident. You know how, like, if you ever gotten high, all my stoner people out there, you become a lot more paranoid when something stupid fucking happens. I feel like anyone would experience that getting high, but since it was my first time, I go into the back of the store, clocked out, and I put my head down on the manager's desk. The manager's desk, by the way. You cannot be there. But my ass decided to be so fucking, like, I felt like I ruled the place for some reason. I sat there and I put my head down, and I was just thinking like, oh man, I almost died tonight. Like, dude, mind you, this is my first time getting high, and it was just a little bumper to bumper exchange. Nothing crazy. So I'm sitting there, and, I put my head down, and I'm like thinking, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what am I doing? And, yeah, it turns out I took an hour and a half nap on that desk. I took an hour and a half nap. I clocked out at 8:30 at night. And by the time I woke up, the lobby was closed and everything, and they were only taking delivery orders. I get up, and all my coworkers are gone for the most part, including Tim, and I'm like, fuck. So I realized one of the other delivery drivers I'm really good friends with, I'll call him Ronald. Me and Ronald were really good friends. We talk about Naruto and shit all the time, I consider this guy a really good friend of mine as well. And I asked him, like, hey, Ronald, do you mind giving me a ride home? I just don't want to face my grandma when it comes to this shit. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Just come with me on my next delivery. So I go with him. He takes me home, and I get home, and I sit on my couch. And, I'm still kind of like in that hazy phase. I'm still kind of like, I'm just getting over my high. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, fuck, tonight was a trip, man. So I felt so guilty for no reason. Then I go and I talk to my mom, and I say, hey, Mom, I smoked weed for the first time tonight. And she's like, oh, you're just pulling my leg. You're funny. I was like, no, Mom, like, I actually smoked weed. And, I don't know why I snitched myself out, but I think it was just like I had my pride together. I was so responsible for it that I just said, fuck it. Like, she can't do anything, right? Sure enough, I get an ass whooping. My brother comes up to me, and he gives me an ass whooping. He fucking yells at me. But at the end of the day, I fucking deserved it. I was being stupid. So yeah, just if you're ever gonna smoke weed or do any of that shit or get high, do it at home on your own time. Do it with friends at their house. But don't get behind the wheel with someone who's high, or, don't drive if you're high. Just don't be stupid. Be responsible with it. So yeah, that's basically the story of me getting high for the first time. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and recommend me down the bottom what you guys want me to record next. If you guys want me to do another story time, fuck it, give me ideas on what you guys want me to do. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Alright, I'll see you guys. Numbsie out.